What is depression? Is depression being tired every single day? Is it dreaming of your deceased father who you hang out with in your dream, who you feel by your side until you realize he's only a ghost walking by? Is it dreaming of your ex fiancee and watching her be a mess in that dream and her not being able to ever recover? How I feel she'll never be the same and how it's me everyone should be pointing fingers at? How she'll never talk to me again even after 11 years of being with each other? Is it dreaming of your middle school bullies and feeling how they can hurt you again, reliving these hurtful memories, and fearing they'll do the same thing to you every single day? To the point you fear doing anything because of the fear you have of them tearing your dreams down? And even after cutting every single tie with them, you still fear them looking at you, taking every step with you along the way. Is depression the incessant feeling of burning guilt? A colossal feeling of uselessness and never being able to discover myself and the potential I really wanted to be, what I really wanted to become? Is it feeling you'll never be able to achieve anything at just 27 years old, knowing damn well you have such a long road ahead of you? Is depression not being able to remember, perhaps as a defense or coping mechanism so memories won't hurt you any longer? But at the same time, you hate yourself for having such a bad memory that you can barely remember any childhood memories or the faces of the people that ever cared for you. This forgetfulness brings you guilt, even if it's not really your fault. It's just your mind trying to protect you from that sorrow. And speaking of which, is depression wishing your own death every single day to release that sorrow? Is it thinking death perhaps means getting the weights off your shoulders? Maybe if I'm lucky and heaven or hell don't exist, it will just mean that everything will turn pitch black and I'll forever cease to exist. Is it built up anxiety from many years of pain and anger and not being able to retaliate an abusive narcissistic mother? How I had to swallow my own anger and built up resentment only for her to tell me that she has never even laid hands on me once? She keeps saying that I must be tripping, that that didn't happen, even if the mental and emotional scars will be forever there with me. As some kind of longer slap across my face that will resonate forever on years with no end. Not even the therapists I've gone to seem to acknowledge or understand how heavy of a situation it was for me to be stuck in that situation. How this will always make me feel angry, sad, and resentful, even if she's my mother and I'll always love her. Is it living in a place where you feel you don't belong? Thinking of how much your life would have been if you still had your friends who understood where you came from, instead of only people who rejected you just because of the place you came from? Or how annoying I was because of how little I could control my ADHD symptoms before? How little people understood when I had a nervous tic happen? How often my teachers will get pissed at me for letting my imagination run wild and get lost in my designated doodle notebook? How I wasn't safe from even them, from getting bullied by them, getting physically and verbally abused by grown men who thought it would be funny to watch me crawl. Is it the many antidepressants I've taken over the years and the countless side effects they have brought to my mind and body without them ever feeling quite as effective as the psychiatrist might have intended? Or how many times I went to the psychologist who could never see what really was happening past a, well, yeah, that's life. What are you gonna do about it? Is it the lost spark inside my soul, the one that drove me into the sun and beyond, the one that made me childlike and wondrous, with an infinite bliss of optimism and a feeling that nothing will ever go bad? The I'm okay to every person I encountered. The feeling of soothing melancholy whenever a rainy day happened. Is this a last ditch effort? Another cry for help from a great depth of my consciousness? Maybe it's a small spark that got left behind that tells me one day, maybe one day, everything will be alright. These thoughts come every day like a loop inside of my head. They occupy my brain like an annoying background noise, which I cannot seem to avoid. The only thing that I can do to get rid of them is submerging myself in some video game, music, any other stupid thing that can take me away from thinking. Will I go on my whole life doing the exact same thing? Will it get better someday, or will I continue to fall in the same hole? Am I able to dig myself out? Am I able to feel wonder and genuine excitement again? Will I be able to one day look myself in the mirror and say, I am proud of who you are today?